Welcome to our channel. Today, we dive into the fascinating world of ancient mysteries, exploring the legendary Ring of Solomon, the Jinn King, and the Tower of Babel. From tales of powerful magic to secret connections between humanity and supernatural beings, these ancient artifacts and stories have captivated minds for centuries. Did King Solomon really control Jinn with his ring? Was the Tower of Babel more than just a monument of pride? Join us as we uncover the mystical links between these ancient legends and uncover the secrets they may still hold. Let's get started on this incredible journey. Ring of Solomon. King Solomon, the son of King David, ruled Israel around the 10th century BCE and is a key figure in the Hebrew Bible, the Quran, and the Christian Old Testament. Revered as a wise and fair king, Solomon's legacy is most famously illustrated through the story of his wise judgment, where he proposed to cut a child in half to reveal the true mother. In addition to his wisdom, Solomon was known for his wealth and architectural accomplishments, such as the construction of the first temple in Jerusalem. Solomon's wisdom and the ring. Although not explicitly mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, the idea of Solomon possessing a magical ring appears in later texts, where it serves as a symbol of his God-given authority and wisdom. In Jewish mysticism and some Islamic traditions, the ring is viewed as a gift from God, enabling Solomon to communicate with animals, command the elements, and summon or control Jinn. These powers were considered a reflection of his divinely endowed wisdom, which enabled him to maintain order and peace in his kingdom. The powers of the Ring of Solomon. Control over spirits. One of the most significant attributes of Solomon's ring in folklore is its power to control spirits, particularly Jinn. Jinn are supernatural beings in Islamic and pre-Islamic Arabian mythology, often depicted as powerful but capricious entities. In various stories, Solomon used his ring to bind Jinn into service, compelling them to assist in building structures, such as the Grand Temple in Jerusalem. The Quran, Surah Sad 38:34-40, references Solomon's control over the wind and Jinn but doesn't mention a ring specifically. Islamic interpretations, however, develop narratives around the ring. These stories hold that the ring was a means for Solomon to subjugate Jinn, and that he could lose control over them if he ever lost the ring. This attribute of the ring reinforced the idea of Solomon as a powerful ruler whose wisdom extended even into the supernatural realm. Communication with animals. Another attributed power of Solomon's ring is the ability to communicate with animals, reflecting the notion that his wisdom was so profound that it bridged even the gap between human and animal kingdoms. Some stories describe Solomon's interactions with animals as an extension of his empathy and wisdom, where he understands and respects the roles of all creatures in creation. In the Quran, the story of Solomon and the ants, Surah An-Naml 27:18-19, illustrates his ability to communicate with animals, though it does not mention the ring. In the verse, Solomon hears an ant warning others of the approaching army, and he smiles, acknowledging the ant's wisdom. Folklore around the ring builds on such stories, implying that the ring was the source of this ability. Protection and divine authority. The ring often symbolizes divine authority and protection. Its engraved seal was thought to grant Solomon protection against evil forces, ensuring his safety and enabling him to rule peacefully. The seal itself is often described as containing symbols or inscriptions that served as talismans, warding off malicious beings. In later adaptations, the seal of Solomon on the ring is depicted as a hexagram, six-pointed star, a symbol that became associated with the Jewish Star of David. The ring's protective aspect is significant because it is often interpreted as a physical representation of Solomon's covenant with God. The divine favor given to him through this ring ensured that his reign would be prosperous and that he would be shielded from harm. Legends and folklore surrounding the Ring of Solomon. The fall of Solomon. Many folktales tell of how Solomon was once tricked into losing his ring and, with it, his power. In one such Islamic tale, a demon or Jinn disguises itself as Solomon, seizes the ring, and assumes the king's identity. Solomon, rendered powerless, is cast out and must live humbly until he manages to reclaim the ring, at which point he regains his throne. This story is often interpreted as a moral lesson on humility and the impermanence of worldly power, even for the wisest and most powerful of kings. Construction of the temple. In Jewish and Islamic legends, Solomon used his ring to command Jinn to help build the first temple in Jerusalem. The ring's power over the supernatural allowed him to enlist Jinn labor for monumental construction projects. The tale is symbolic of Solomon's quest to create a space that would honor God and serve as a house of worship. The legend of Solomon's supernatural workforce became an allegory for divine intervention and assistance in achieving seemingly impossible tasks. Alchemy and occult symbolism. In Western esoteric traditions, the Ring of Solomon took on new symbolic meanings, particularly in alchemy and occultism. The ring and the seal of Solomon became symbols for the duality of human nature, the union of opposites, and the balance of elemental forces. Alchemists interpreted the hexagram as representing the harmony between the spiritual and material realms, a concept believed to be embodied in Solomon himself. This symbolization became more prominent in the Middle Ages and Renaissance when interest in mysticism, alchemy, and secret knowledge grew. Interpretations and symbolism of the Ring of Solomon. Wisdom and power. The Ring of Solomon is often seen as a metaphor for wisdom, emphasizing that true power lies in understanding and wisdom rather than brute force. Solomon's wisdom, symbolized by the ring, allowed him to rule justly and maintain harmony in his realm, as he could understand and negotiate with all beings. In this sense, the ring represents the ideal ruler's qualities: wisdom, compassion, justice, and humility, control and balance. The ring's power over Jinn and nature speaks to the theme of control and balance. Solomon's ability to command supernatural entities without being overwhelmed by them reflects the importance of self-control, moderation, and responsibility. The ring serves as a reminder that true power must be tempered by wisdom and used judiciously, as an unchecked desire for control can lead to downfall. The Seal of Solomon. The Seal of Solomon, often depicted on the ring, is typically shown as a hexagram or pentagram in various traditions. This symbol is often interpreted as a representation of the interconnectedness of heaven and earth, or the unity of opposites, fire and water, spirit and matter. This imagery conveys Solomon's role as a mediator between realms, a wise leader who bridges the divine and the earthly. The ring as a symbol of divine covenant. In many interpretations, the ring represents a covenant between Solomon and God, with the ring's powers serving as evidence of God's favor. This divine endorsement gave Solomon the authority to rule wisely and to command the supernatural. The covenant aspect is important because it places a limit on the ring's powers, reminding Solomon that his abilities are not inherent but are gifts from a higher authority. Modern cultural influence. The legend of Solomon's ring has left a lasting impact on popular culture, especially in fantasy literature and movies. Writers and creators have drawn on the idea of a powerful, enchanted ring that grants its wearer control over supernatural forces, inspiring famous fictional rings like those in The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Though Tolkien's rings have distinct origins and different attributes, the basic concept of a ring as a powerful, transformative object can be traced back to stories like that of Solomon's ring. In modern times, Solomon's ring continues to appear in books, films, and video games as a symbol of ancient knowledge, magical power, and sometimes the moral lesson that absolute power must be tempered with responsibility and humility. The Ring of Solomon is a potent symbol that embodies themes of wisdom, divine favor, supernatural control, and the moral responsibilities of power. It serves as a reminder of the fine line between wisdom and hubris, with the various legends warning that power can be as fleeting as it is tempting. Although details of the ring's powers and origin vary across cultures, the underlying messages remain consistent. The ring symbolizes the virtues necessary for a just ruler, the responsibilities that accompany power, and the belief that wisdom, rooted in respect for the natural and supernatural realms, is the ultimate key to true leadership. Solomon's ring thus remains a compelling emblem of mystical power, moral authority, and the timeless quest for understanding and mastery over the seen and unseen worlds. Jinn King, origins and nature. In Islamic theology, Jinn are mentioned in the Quran as beings created by God from smokeless fire, Surah Al-Hijr, 15:27. They were made from a different substance than humans, who were created from clay, and angels, created from light, placing them in a unique category within creation. Like humans, Jinn possess free will, enabling them to choose between good and evil, and they experience emotions, desires, and intellect. The word jinn, also spelled jinn, is derived from the Arabic root jayin, which implies something hidden or concealed, referring to their usually unseen nature. Jinn can take various forms, including that of animals or humans, and possess powers that allow them to move swiftly, manipulate objects, and even communicate across vast distances. Types of jinn. Islamic and cultural traditions classify jinn into different types, some more benevolent and others more malevolent. Among them are marid, often considered the most powerful type of jinn. Marids are known for their strength and arrogance. They are often depicted as difficult to control and usually require appeasement through elaborate rituals. Ifrit. Ifrits are another powerful group, often associated with fire and seen as malevolent and vengeful. In various tales, Ifrits are known for their rebellious nature and are harder to subjugate. Shayateen. These are jinn who have chosen to follow a path of evil, sometimes associated with Satan, Shaitan, himself. Not all jinn are evil, but the shayateen actively choose a dark path, seeking to mislead humans. Ghoul. Known for their shape-shifting abilities, ghouls are usually malevolent creatures, often preying on travelers in deserted places. They are among the darker and more dangerous types of jinn. Hierarchy among jinn. While many jinn lead lives separate from human concerns, traditions speak of a structured hierarchy among them, with kings, queens, and other forms of rulership. At the top of this hierarchy are the jinn kings, powerful leaders who control vast realms and command loyalty from other jinn. The jinn kings. The concept of a jinn king exists both in folklore and in Islamic esoteric traditions. These kings are considered to have authority over specific groups of jinn and are believed to dwell in remote or hidden parts of the world, often in deserts, abandoned ruins, or mystical locations. The 7 jinn kings. In some traditions, particularly in occult and magical texts, there are references to 7 primary jinn kings, each of whom governs a specific day of the week and a particular type of jinn. They are sometimes also associated with different astrological signs, which grants them influence over human affairs, especially for those who seek to engage with the supernatural. These kings are often named in magical and occult literature, with each possessing unique attributes, domains, and areas of influence. The 7 jinn kings are Al-Mazhab, king of Sunday, known for his fiery power and associated with the sun. Al-Mazhab is believed to be particularly influential in matters of strength, success, and wealth. Murrah al-Abayad, king of Monday, ruler of water elements and associated with the moon. Murrah is thought to govern matters of emotions, protection, and psychic abilities. Birkin, king of Tuesday, connected with Mars and the element of fire. Birkin embodies aggression, courage, and sometimes conflict. Qadir, king of Wednesday, linked to Mercury. Qadir is seen as the king of knowledge, wisdom, and communication. Shamhurish, king of Thursday, associated with Jupiter. Shamhurish is considered a wise and powerful jinn, governing matters of law, justice, and spirituality. Maymun, king of Friday, representing Venus. Maymun oversees love, beauty, and social relations. Abu Namaimun, king of Saturday, connected to Saturn. This king is known for his authority over dark or secretive matters, such as occult knowledge, death, and endings. Each of these jinn kings is associated with specific qualities and domains of influence. Those involved in certain spiritual or mystical practices may invoke them to seek guidance, assistance, or insight. Role in human affairs. Jinn kings, according to lore, are thought to have a particular interest in humanity. Their motives may range from helpful to malicious, depending on the type of king and his disposition. In Islamic lore, however, seeking the help of jinn, including jinn kings, is considered a forbidden practice, as it is believed to open humans up to danger and potentially to spiritual corruption. Those who claim to interact with jinn do so with caution, as jinn are known to be unpredictable and their loyalty is rarely permanent. Despite this, some individuals, especially those involved in certain mystical or occult practices, believe that establishing a connection with a jinn king can bring power, wisdom, or guidance. Appearance and abilities. Jinn kings are typically depicted as imposing figures with immense power, capable of shifting forms and wielding elemental forces. Each king is thought to control his respective domain: fire, water, air, or earth, and can manifest these elements in both human and Jinn worlds. In stories, the kings often appear in regal attire and may carry symbolic items like swords or staffs that signify their authority. Some narratives describe them as having a mix of human and animal features, such as the head of a lion or the wings of an eagle, emphasizing their supernatural nature. Popular Jinn kings in folklore. Shamhurish. Among the most renowned Jinn kings is Shamhurish, who is believed to be a wise and just ruler, often associated with scholars, judges, and mystics. According to folklore, Shamhurish is particularly knowledgeable and is sometimes sought after by those looking to gain wisdom or settle disputes. In certain traditions, he is seen as a protective figure, invoked by people who seek refuge from malevolent forces. Al-Malik al-Mazhab. Al-Mazhab is another prominent figure, representing raw power and strength. As a fiery Jinn, he is both feared and respected, and is often depicted as aggressive but fair. People in folklore may seek his favor to gain courage, victory in battles, or success in personal endeavors, although such summoning practices are warned against in orthodox religious teachings. Maimon. Known as the Jinn King of Friday, Maimon is associated with Venus and is believed to have powers over beauty, charm, and love. Maimon is sometimes sought after by individuals desiring assistance in romantic matters, although such practices are seen as risky, given Jinn's unpredictable natures. Ifrit kings. Some folklore specifically mentions Ifrit kings, a subset of Jinn kings known for their fiery dispositions and malevolent tendencies. These kings are often seen as forces of chaos, danger, and rebellion, and are said to be difficult to control. Ifrit kings have been cast in many stories as adversaries of humanity, embodying untamed elements of fire and darkness. Jinn kings in cultural and esoteric practices. Magic and occult practices. In esoteric traditions, particularly those practiced outside of mainstream Islam, Jinn kings are sometimes invoked for assistance in magical rituals. Practitioners may attempt to summon or appease these kings to gain influence, insight, or power. However, this is controversial and often condemned, as Islamic teachings strongly discourage the summoning or control of jinn, warning of the dangers involved. Ancient grimoires and texts from regions influenced by Islamic culture sometimes contain invocations or rituals for summoning these kings. Although the authenticity and effectiveness of such texts are highly debated, many regard these practices as harmful or deceptive, cautioning that jinn may deceive humans who try to contact them, leading to disastrous consequences. Psychological interpretations. In modern psychology, jinn and jinn kings can be interpreted symbolically, representing subconscious forces or emotions. For instance, jinn kings might symbolize archetypal energies that embody power, wisdom, aggression, or temptation. Exploring these figures in folklore can offer insights into human nature, reflecting fears, desires, and the quest for control over the unknown. Jinn kings in literature and media. Jinn kings continue to inspire literature, films, and art, embodying mystery and supernatural power. Their dual nature, capable of both helping and harming humans, adds complexity to their portrayal, making them appealing characters for stories exploring the balance between good and evil and the dangers of meddling with forces beyond human understanding. The Jinn King, as an archetype, embodies the allure and danger of hidden power. Representing both wisdom and chaos, these kings serve as guardians and rulers of the Jinn realm, often mediating between human and supernatural worlds. The Jinn King's complex roles in folklore reflect humanity's long-standing fascination with the unknown, as well as the ethical and spiritual questions surrounding the pursuit of hidden knowledge and power. In Islamic and cultural traditions, Jinn Kings are powerful but unpredictable, often embodying both the beneficial and malevolent forces in life. Their legends offer moral lessons on humility, respect for the unknown, and the consequences of attempting to control forces beyond human comprehension. The Jinn King remains a compelling figure that resonates across cultures, symbolizing humanity's desire to understand, control, and connect with the mysteries of the supernatural world. Tower of Babel. The biblical story of the Tower of Babel. The story of the Tower of Babel is brief, taking up only 9 verses in Genesis. Here is a summary of the account. A united humanity, The story begins by describing a time when all humans spoke the same language and lived in a single region, traditionally identified as Shinar, ancient Mesopotamia, near present-day Iraq. United in speech and purpose, they decided to build a city and a tower with its top in the heavens to make a name for themselves, lest they be scattered over the face of the whole earth. The construction of the tower, using bricks instead of stones and bitumen for mortar, the people of Shinar began constructing an immense tower. The choice of materials is significant, as baked bricks and bitumen were materials that allowed for taller, sturdier structures than earlier building methods. This detail suggests that the people were employing advanced technology, at least for their time, to accomplish an ambitious task. Divine intervention. God observed the construction and recognized the implications of this united effort. The Bible says that God noted humanity's potential when they were unified and shared a common language. If left unchecked, they might pursue further ambitions without any limits. As a response, God decided to confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. The dispersion of peoples. By confounding their language, God effectively halted the project, causing confusion and preventing the people from cooperating. Unable to communicate, they abandoned the tower and scattered across the earth, forming different linguistic and cultural groups. The unfinished tower became a symbol of their lost unity and the limitations imposed on humanity. The name Babel derives from the Hebrew word Balal, meaning to confuse or to mix, but it also resembles the Akkadian word Babilu, meaning gate of God. The biblical story thus presents Babel both as a place of divine judgment and confusion and as a commentary on humanity's relationship with the divine. Themes and symbolism in the Tower of Babel story. Human ambition and pride. The story of the Tower of Babel often symbolizes the dangers of unchecked ambition and hubris. By attempting to reach the heavens, humanity sought to attain divine status or proximity. Their desire to make a name for themselves indicates an attempt to establish independence from God or assert equality with divine power. The narrative warns of the consequences of pride and overreach, suggesting that humans should respect their natural limits and not try to rival God's authority. Unity and division. The people of Babel were initially united in language and purpose, which enabled them to pursue grand projects and aspirations. However, God's intervention created linguistic and cultural divides that resulted in their scattering across the earth. The story thus reflects both the power of human unity and the reality of human division. In a sense, the Tower of Babel marks the beginning of humanity's cultural and linguistic diversity, explaining why people differ so greatly in language and customs. Language as a tool and a barrier. Language is central to the story, both as a means of cooperation and as a source of division. Initially, a common language allowed humans to work together seamlessly. However, once their language was confused, communication broke down, and they could no longer cooperate. This emphasizes how language can be both a bridge and a barrier between people, capable of uniting or dividing societies. The Babel story thus reflects on the importance of language in human relationships and the difficulties that arise when communication fails. Limits of human knowledge and technology. The people of Babel used advanced materials and building techniques for their tower, indicating a certain level of knowledge and innovation. However, despite their technological advancement, they were ultimately thwarted by God. This suggests that while technology can empower humanity to achieve great things, there are limits to human knowledge and abilities. The Tower of Babel serves as a reminder that, according to the biblical worldview, humanity cannot overcome certain boundaries set by God. Divine authority and human dependency. The story reinforces the idea that God has ultimate authority over humanity. By confounding their language and halting their project, God asserts divine control over human affairs, reminding humanity of their dependency on divine will. This message reflects a theological perspective that humans should be humble and recognize their place in the created order rather than challenging divine authority. Historical and cultural context of the Tower of Babel. Connection to Mesopotamian ziggurats. Scholars have long noted that the Tower of Babel resembles the structure of Mesopotamian ziggurats, massive temple towers built in ancient Mesopotamia. Ziggurats were typically constructed with multiple levels, with each ascending platform symbolizing a step closer to the heavens. The most famous ziggurat in the region was the Etemenanke, a massive tower in Babylon dedicated to Marduk, the chief god of the Babylonian pantheon. The resemblance between ziggurats and the Tower of Babel suggests that the biblical authors may have been referencing these structures, familiar symbols of human ambition and religious aspirations. The Etemenanke was known as the House of the Foundation of Heaven and Earth, and it was possibly the inspiration behind the Tower of Babel. Babel is Babylon. The Hebrew word Babel can also be understood as Babylon, a city that would later become a symbol of pride, decadence, and rebellion against God in biblical literature. Babylon was a powerful city-state in ancient Mesopotamia, known for its grandeur and technological achievements, but also for its opposition to the Israelite God. The association of Babel with Babylon reinforces the story's themes of pride and divine retribution, linking the construction of the tower to the larger biblical narrative of Babylon's eventual downfall. Symbol of diverse languages and cultures. In addition to its religious symbolism, the Tower of Babel story provides an etiology or origin story for the world's linguistic diversity. It reflects an ancient attempt to explain why people across the world speak different languages and have distinct cultures. The scattering of people with different languages symbolizes the spread of human civilizations and the birth of varied cultural identities, a foundational moment in human history. Interpretations and legacy of the Tower of Babel story. Theological interpretations. In Jewish and Christian theology, the story of the Tower of Babel is often interpreted as a warning against pride, hubris, and the human desire to play God. It teaches that human beings, while created in the image of God, are not divine and should not overstep their bounds. In Christianity, the scattering of humanity at Babel foreshadows the reversal of this division at Pentecost, Acts 2 verses 1-12, where the Holy Spirit enables Jesus' disciples to speak in various languages, symbolizing the reunification of people under God's purpose. Symbolism in art and literature. The Tower of Babel has inspired countless works of art, literature, and architecture throughout history. Artists like Peter Bruegel the Elder and M.C. Escher have depicted the tower as a massive, spiraling structure, emphasizing the folly of human pride. Literary works, including novels, poems, and essays, have used Babel as a metaphor for human ambition, the limits of knowledge, and the struggles of communication. The tower often symbolizes the idea that human beings, despite their efforts to reach great heights, ultimately face limitations imposed by their own nature or by divine authority. Modern interpretations and globalization. In modern contexts, the Tower of Babel is often used as a metaphor for the complexities of globalization. Just as humanity once shared a common language in the Babel story, globalization has brought people closer together than ever before, fostering shared knowledge and goals. Yet, just as the Babel story resulted in confusion and division, globalization also brings challenges of communication, cultural conflict, and misunderstanding. The Tower of Babel can thus be seen as a parable for the modern world, where human ambition for unity and progress is constantly tempered by diversity and the need for mutual understanding. Scientific and linguistic interpretations. For linguists and anthropologists, the Tower of Babel story is a symbolic representation of the natural evolution and divergence of languages over time. Linguistic studies show how languages gradually branch out, creating diverse dialects and languages that shape distinct cultural identities. The Babel story, therefore, reflects an ancient awareness of this linguistic process and serves as a cultural attempt to explain it in narrative form. The Tower of Babel is a powerful story that addresses humanity's timeless desire to reach new heights, the perils of pride, and the challenges of unity and diversity. As an origin story, it provides a theological and symbolic explanation for the diversity of languages and cultures, reflecting humanity's eternal struggle to communicate, connect, and understand. As a metaphor, it captures both the creative potential and the inherent limitations of human ambition, warning against the dangers of hubris and the importance of humility. The Tower of Babel remains relevant in today's globalized world, as it reflects on issues of language, communication, and cultural diversity. Its themes resonate with contemporary questions about the balance between ambition and humility, unity and individuality, and the ways in which we navigate our shared human experience. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed exploring the Ring of Solomon, the Jinn King, and the Tower of Babel. 3 legendary stories full of mystery and wonder. From ancient magic to the clash of humanity and the supernatural, these tales have left us with more questions than answers. If you found this video fascinating, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on future explorations into the unknown. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know what other ancient mysteries you'd like us to uncover. Until next time, keep exploring